Hotsu, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, in whichever realms of existence you are, whatever mind states you're in, whatever conditions you're in. As always, you're welcome to my channel. Yes, it's very nice to be able to make a video. I have not had the time nor the privacy in quite a while, or in a little while anyway, in a good bit of time. I've been chomping at the bit to actually make a video, but I just have not. I mean, such is samsaric existence during Mappo. Just no time. Busy. So anyways, so to give you a little shot of this deserted road here at an undisclosed location deep in the heart of Devon. Just give you a little pan around of my location here. And yeah, the kind of was reminiscent of the made me think of The Road, the film and the book of the Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I don't know if you've ever seen the film version, which is pretty grim, but it's very Mappo. It actually is quite, yeah, a lot of the stuff in there is actually pretty fairly fair approximation of some of the things that are going to go on eventually during Mappo, how bad things are going to get and how human beings are going to behave. It was a very good depiction of that, actually. So anyway, that's not what I might, I probably will reference that again in one of my future videos that I'm going to be doing on that period of Mappo that I'm referring to, when things get really bad. But anyway, I probably will talk about The Road in that one. But today I actually wanted to talk about my just how rapidly in recent years that that I feel like, or I have experienced, or I perceive that the light of Amida has opened my eyes so much, very rapidly in the past several years, really. But actually I'd say the past several years, I'll put it that way, to where my thinking, my interests, my way of viewing the world has changed so drastically. And what I really should say is that it's widened more. It's widened more. It's expanded more, so I could see more. And as I say, I attribute this all to the light of Amida. Of lights of Amida doing this. Because my responses, my what I'm interested in, like I said, how I experience things is so different. So it was so rapid too the last several years. And I suppose there's probably some sort of obvious reasons why that, in my own personal life, where that will have contributed to that, but not I can't see that alone. That's some very difficult bereavements I had several years ago, a compounded kind of bereavement of, one, my father dying, and then his sister dying just a few months later, which those were quite it was a pretty, she was, even, she was a quite significant person in my life. So the combination of my father and then her passing away, it was quite tremendous. But, that alone could not explain how much my thinking and so forth has changed. Just, in fact, that experience actually, I feel like, deepened my Buddhist experience. Though, the deep impact of that bereavement really was a very visceral dharma dharma event in my life, of really, kind of deepening awareness of impermanence. And I went to kind of another level at that point with my Buddhist path that I'd never had before. So yeah, that's there. But I think that that deepening my Buddhist path and deepening my awareness of impermanence, that was all due to the light of Amida, due the working of Amida. So that's, you just see what I mean. So I attribute but even let's just say that, let's just say just under normal, other circumstances, that, other people who maybe aren't Buddhists or haven't encountered encountered the Amida, the Buddha Dharma, full stop, or the Pure Land Buddha Dharma, the impact of, though the impact of a significant bereavement is profound, it's not, I don't think, for me, it explains just how rapidly since then my views and experiences changed. So I'll just give you some concrete examples of what I mean. And I think it, and that's also part of Mappo. But because I just see, because I see things more so differently now, all my interests have changed. So an example of this would be particular television shows or types of television shows, or particular movies or types of movies, or genres of things that I once really enjoyed. Because my view of things has changed so much, I don't enjoy them as much anymore, because I just kind of see things in them that I didn't see before. I'm aware of things about those things that make me go, even though maybe I was sort of mentally aware of that before to some degree, but now I just see it as just so clear, and I'm like, oh, and so it's not just what I see in those things that I now kind of see very differently. It's just, I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Where once I was, hugely interested in particular genres or particular movies or particular television shows. Now I'm just kind of it's just not there. That's just one small example. Also, my worldview, just, my geopolitical worldview has changed enormously. To an extent I could have never imagined having. I've talked about this before, but where before it was difficult for me to, because of, I think, the Buddha Dharma in general, and just the light of Amida, and being in Mappo, and knowing how unideal things are, and really experiencing how unideal conditions are in Mappo. It would be difficult for me to kind of lay hold to any particular any particular kind of socioeconomic view or political view of the world. To hold to anything that, solidly, to say, yeah, this is the best thing for us. And there's twofold why that is. One is seeing the world the way it is in Mappo, but also seeing myself and realizing through, again, through this is all a light of Amida, that I don't know best from myself or anyone else. I don't know what's best for the world. So there was already that, but now it's like it's just a whole nother level. Like there's things that I could never have dreamed I would see the way I see them now. Never in a million years. It's like so different. And there was quite a struggle within me once I started seeing these things. It was like I really wanted to keep hold of kind of my way of seeing things before that. I really wanted to try to hold on to that and keep that kind of incorporated in my life, and that was woven into everything. And that's just like the social conditioning, what it was. It was just even though I'm a person that looks have always looked, even from when I was a kid, very deeply at life and the world and my experience and people and so on and so forth. And again, I think that's all because of that's all because of Amida. Amida's good from the past. Amida's light that enabled me from a very young age to do that. Even though I've already kind of been aware of those things, I still was very, as we all are, because we're in samsaric existence, we're conditioned. We're conditioned by our causes and conditions, and we're conditioned by society. We're conditioned by our family. We're kind of programmed, as it were. We're given the samsaric. That's how the samsaric program works in us. To kind of make us view the world. It's all incorrect. All the views are incorrect. Some are better than others. Some ways of seeing things are better than others, and more helpful and more compassionate and more wise and more than others. But it's all poisoned. It's all tainted. It's all askewed because it's in samsaric existence. And so all those, all that socialization that you get from family and school and peer groups and society and the media and so on and so forth. That's, even though I was deeply looked at that, I still got all that conditioning. And it's, and over the years that's been unwound at different points throughout my life, actually, and just gradually as well. But just the last several years, it's gone to like I said, that unwinding, or that just undoing of all that, of a lot of that conditioning has just been so rapid. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. Like I said, I was really trying to hold on to that. And then I just got to the point where I was just like, no matter what I do, I'm still going to see, I've been enabled to see this, but so I can't undo it. I can't unring that bell. I can't, and I felt like that many, many times over the years, actually. Many times. There've been lots of times where I felt, I wish I could unring that bell. I wish I could go back to before I was aware of that or able to see this. And that's happened, throughout my life, at periods, different periods throughout my life. But as I say, the most recently, it's been so rapid, it's made my head spin, literally. And I've gotten to the point where I've started to accept it. I've started to just go, okay, that's, this is it. This is what I see. And I can't unsee it. I can't, and just let go. I just kind of let go to it, because there's no point. But it does make things, just things I would have just kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain, just kind of been involved with and interested in, and and a part of before. I just am not. I'm just kind of like not interested, not a part of it, even less so. I've talked about how I've been most of my life actually feeling like I was on the outside looking in. So now it's just, but over the last several years, that's gone to another level, as well. The more I see the world the way I've been able to see it, in Mappo, through the Buddha Dharma. It's hard for me to even. I'm trying to give you some more solid examples of this. It's tricky though, just because I don't want to go into too much detail about how I see the world, because it is pretty bleak, and it is pretty black-pilled, as it were, in a geopolitical sense, in a political sense, not in the black-pilled sense of the other movements that are associated with when you say you're black-pilled. I'm talking about black-pilled about the world, not about men and women. That stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not the black-pilled thing I'm talking about at all. In that subcultural sense of people that say they're, and the political sense where they try to associate anyone saying they're black-pilled with those things. Not at all. That's not what I'm talking about. Just the broader, because of being in Mappo, you can't, if you really see it, let's face it, folks, we're in Mappo. This is the darkest era, the darkest times, and we're just at the beginning of it. We're in this, as I often say, the 500-year period since Shakyamuni's passing. And so there's less than 10,000 years, say, to go for the very bottom of the descending kalpa to land, and things, and as the kalpa descends, at some point when we kind of nearing Mappo, it just gets steeper and steeper, and in Mappo it just drops off like a cliff. The just decreasing virtue, decreasing wisdom, decreasing compassion, decreasing merit of people, of beings, just drops off like that are in, at least in the human realm anyway. And I suppose it must be for any beings and realms that share the human realm, it goes pretty rapid. And let's face it, so that's what we're in. And I this is one thing where I'm like, I see a lot of Buddhists who are a lot of Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, Shin Buddhists, who are very political at one end of the spectrum or another. Which is also curious to me, that they're at one end of this, they're at a pretty strong end of the spectrum or another. I'm not saying completely far right or very far left. I'm just saying pretty strongly toward the right or pretty strongly toward the left. And I just find that curious that you can hold, first of all, as a Buddhist, that you're going to be strongly to the left or right at all as a Buddhist. Like, how can you be just, if you've encountered, and in a deeply meaningful way, the Buddha Dharma and the light of Amida is in your existence, how can you not be sort of moderate in your views? How can you not be, sort of middle way in your views? I can't understand that. I cannot understand that. And so that's just an example when I say, like I see even people who are Shin Buddhists or Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, and they're wrapped up in these political views so much. And I know some of it's because they think that's the most wise way to go, and the compassion, and they're basing it on what they conceive as the, Buddha Dharma to some extent. But some of them, I don't think they're even doing that. Some of them, I don't think they are, actually. I don't think they're thinking about it that much. I think most of them, even if they are Buddhists or Jodo Shinshu Buddhists or Shin Buddhists, whatever you want to call it, I don't think they're even thinking about it that much. They don't even think like, oh yeah, we're in Mappo. Like, this is one thing that is a bit weird when I look. There at kind of, I don't know, normies. There's normie Jodo Shinshus that are like, just don't get like what it really means that we're in Mappo. Like, they just don't. They're just like, no, life is okay, and da 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 da. I don't get it. I don't get how you can't see how the precarious situation that we're in Mappo and in the world right now, like, and just so how you can have strong, like, to the left or right, very strong views. Just, that's beyond me. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll just chalk that one up to that. That's, ignorant human beings. Yeah, we're going to do that. But it just seems like people talk about Jodo Shinshu teaching and this and that, and they go about their lives and, this and that and family and all of that, but they just don't ever say, yeah, we're in it. We are seriously in it. I mean, especially the state of the world right now. How can you not? So that's like one example, I guess, the political views, and also just the normalcy bias thing with people who are actually Jodo Shinshu Buddhists. Like, how can you just not see Mappo for, like, we're in Mappo, this is it, folks, like, this, it's not some, quaint teaching. This is reality. We're in the reality of, well, reality in the samsaric sense, it is a dream. It's a nightmare. That's what I should call it. Then we're in the nightmare of samsara. We are in the nightmare of samsara. Like, how many, like how many years now are we into it? So, like 1100 years or something like that into Mappo. All right. Yeah, 1100 years into Mappo, 1100 years at least into Mappo, like, and we're not, like, you don't see like, that's kind of a pretty precarious thing. I don't know. I just don't, and I see people on Facebook, and I see people just going about their lives like every other person on the planet who's not a Buddhist. And I just think, what are you doing? Like, well, how can you, and just not talking about it, not talking about the darkness and nightmarishness and of Mappo, like, and I don't know. It's just changed me so much, I guess. I don't know what to say. I don't know. And I guess it's just frustrating for me. Not seeing this necessarily, but that just boggles my mind. It's like, how can you be a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist and not, like, this is just not on, just there in the forefront of your mind, in the forefront of your experience. I just, but the frustration for me is just, it's like, I almost don't know how to act myself with things having changed so much in my perceptions, in my in my thinking, in my interests. So I lean into just going, trying to be, try to live by the guidelines established by our Dharma masters as best I can. And, trying to be the best husband I can be, and best member of my broader family that I can be, and the best to my new, we've got a couple of new puppies that are living with us now, and trying to be the best, for them, and trying to be the best, try not the when I say the best that I can be, try to do the rightest thing that I can be for being an unright being, for being a bamboo foolish spiritual idiot, unright mind and being, in the samsaric sense, doing the best that I can. And I lean into that even more so than I previously did. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I lean into just those basic, like, that's like almost like, besides like leaning into the Buddha Dharma and to Nimbutsu and into Dharma dialogue and into Dharma activity as much as I can. Just naturally, I just want to do that more than ever and more deeply than ever. Besides that, so I'm leading into that, but then the everyday life things, I've noticed over the last several years, I've leaned more and more into, like, just, okay, I like enjoy doing my chores for the day. And I'm grateful to have those. I enjoy being in my home. I work from home and I enjoy being there. Like, so I just enjoy that, and I'm grateful for that. So there's this gratitude that naturally springs from all this as well, that in these times I have the Amida Dharma, the Buddha Dharma, and that makes me grateful for everything else. It makes me grateful for all the causes and conditions in my life, in my own, and all the, and in all the world, the karmic causes and conditions of my life and all of the world, back through countless immeasurable lifetimes, rebirths, and universes. I'm grateful for all the causes and conditions that brought me to this moment. That's what I'll think of, right now, actually, standing in this place, where I am, deep in the heart of Devon. I'm grateful for just being here. I'm grateful, I'm grateful for all those karmic causes, the causes and conditions that I can work from home, that I can, that I have a job. I'm grateful for all the karmic causes and conditions that, both individual and collective, that I have the wife that I have, the daily activities that I have the job that I have, that I have the connections to people that I have in family and friends. Though that's not huge, I have to say. Regretfully, I don't have a lot of, strong friendship connections to a lot of people. But I'm grateful for those that I do have. And that's what it is deepened to, along with the kind of seeing the starkness of things, a deepening of my gratitude for all the karmic causes and conditions that, and at the same time, yes, and I don't feel sorry for myself. This is the other great thing about, Amita's light, is you don't feel sorry for yourself because I'm here, it's my karmic causes and conditions as well that landed me here in this time of Mappo. But at the same time, it's Amita's good that I can see all this. It's Amita's good from the past that I can see all this. So I don't feel sorry for myself that I am born during this time, in these interesting times. And like I say, I just can't see too many, lots of people are going to be gone from this existence in the next, just because of what's going on in the world, wars and probably future pandemics and civil unrest and all of these different things that are going on in the world, all over the world. I just can't. It's going to come to and agendas that the clubs have and all of that. I just can't see the next few to several years that I just can't see that a lot of people aren't going to be dying. There's just going to be a lot of people gone from this existence, and so I can't see me. I just see the same in myself, but weirdly, I'm kind of okay with that as well. Like I'm kind of like, okay, if that's the way it is. I'm not real unhappy about that. Just my experience of samsara so far, other than the Amida Dharma, not great, not a great experience. So, but again, I don't feel sorry for that because I know it's my own karmic causes and conditions that got me here, and it's our collective karmic causes and conditions that we experience all this together. And so I don't feel sorry for myself or really anybody else on that end of things, on that note of things, because we deserve it. We deserve to be here at this time in this place. But at the same time, along with that, what I'm trying to say is comes gratitude that I do have the Amida, that I do have the things that I have in my life, and everything else, though, I just keep losing interest, or I just see so differently, or whatever, that it's those everyday activities that have new importance to me, new significance, new meaning, new experience to me, to just have that daily routine and activity, even if it's not a routine, if you see what I mean. But there's still things to get, and even if stressful things are happening, yeah, I react stressfully at the time. But when I am past it, I'm like, okay, this was a full day. Good, good. I can go to sleep tonight. Anyway, there's a whole nother level to that. Talk about my sleep life and dreams. That's another thing. That's actually that's part of the subject. Actually, is even my dreams, they've always been very important and significant. I've always remembered them, and they've always been very significant to me. And I always I'm often throughout my life, I've had what I call dream-ja vu, situations where, where people say, oh, I've, deja vu. Well, I kind of realize I dreamed it. When I have a deja vu, I actually remember, oh, I dreamed this like 10 years ago, or I dreamed this like 15 years ago, I dreamed this 5 years ago. That kind of thing happens to me a lot, and it's even more so now, more frequently. And also, just my dream life has become much more dharmic. The Dharma is coming through strongly in it. Dreams are more vivid. Anyway, so I'm grateful for that as well. And this is all, I just think this is all part of my Mappo experience, my natural Mappo experience. So that change, even though at first I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I wish I didn't see this. It's gradually and rapidly just kind of gotten to a point of gratitude for it, or just at least acceptance of it, as well as some gratitude for it, and gratitude within that, because it really, the longer it's gone on, the more I simplify, the more I kind of let go of things, the more I kind of I don't want to say you just naturally detach. I'm just naturally detaching from so many things and so many things in life. Which is actually a good thing. And then I just appreciate the everyday things so much more. So maybe that's what other people are doing when I look at them and go, don't you know you're in Mappo? Don't you know maybe that's kind of why it doesn't look that way, because they too have naturally gravitated to those just everyday things as their as a kind of, I don't want to say an anchor, because our anchor is Amida Buddha, our anchor is Pure Land, our anchor is Nembutsu, our anchor is, you know, but just kind of as a way to ride it out, to ride in the storm out, a way to ride the storm out, a way to ride in kind of a, you know, I think in the process of Amida's life, the process of Shinjin, the process of Amida's working, we kind of come into a kind of eye of the storm. That's what I kind of feel like I'm in, an eye of the storm. And these my approach and experience of these daily activities now, and the gratitude of it, is kind of part of that eye of the storm that Amida's light and Amida's, you know, Amida's embrace, Amida's rescue is providing. So maybe that's why it looks like other people aren't, you know, they're not seeing, but maybe that they're doing the same thing. Maybe they're doing that same, those just those daily activities are part of them riding the storm out, you know, in that eye of the storm that, you know, that Amida has provided us in Mappo. Yeah, so I think on that note, I'm going to end it. So thanks for listening. It's so good to do another video. I've been waiting so long to do another video. I have a huge backlist of videos to get uploaded, which I haven't done yet, but I'm going to get there. And so thanks for listening. And Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo, Namo, Namo. All right, take care. Until next time.
Hold on to your butts.